the top of the hill, right up here, there's a big old gray truck. And he was part of the deal last night. What deal, you may ask? Last night was not a very good one. I don't even remember what time I went to bed. I think it was on time and early enough, before midnight and all that. Maybe 10 or 11. I don't remember when I went to bed. But I had the most horrible dream with my ex-husband torturing me the way he used to. And I had a wee little baby. It wasn't identified as what baby or whom or anything. But he was mean to me, and I went for the baby and was holding the baby because the baby needed to be breastfed. And he came up and started hitting the baby, hitting me. He used to stomp on my top of my feet a lot. This was a guy that was at least 210 pounds, 6'4". He'd come up with his heel, he'd stomp on the top of my metatarsals. That's why I'm real sensitive when the baby does that. He'll do that. He'll stand on my feet. He likes to stand on feet so he can feel taller. He does it to his daddy's feet too. It was a horrible dream. I woke up crying. And crying. I finally got myself calmed down, and I'm lying in bed, about ready to sleep, and it was 12:15, midnight. And my car alarm went off. So I had to get the key, shine it out the window. It's got a remote thingy, and turn the car on and off until it went off. I noticed up the street at the top of the hill, there's a guy's gray truck. It went off too. And there was no one driving around the neighborhood making noise or anything. So the only thing I could think of was possibly some kind of an earth tremor. So I got on the Earthquakes of California website, one of them. There's many, because apparently it happens all the time out here. And about 190 miles north of here, east of Bakersfield, Wofford, Wofford, is kind of a hilly area with a little lake at the top. That was the epicenter. That was where it came from. It was a magnitude of 2.6. That was the main one, right around midnight. And then quarter after, about 10 after, was another one. 1.6, or no, 2.0, and then the third one was 1.6. The fourth one was 1.2, and each time it would set the aftershocks, I guess, would set off the alarm on the car. I don't know. That's what I'm guessing. I'm going to go up the street and talk to that guy and see if he has any ideas. I mean, I didn't hear anybody. Usually it's some jerk-off that's driving his loud motorcycle or four-wheeler or something going vroom, vroom, that kind of thing. But I didn't see or hear anybody last night, so there were 4 aftershocks after this quake last night. I told Ashley about it, and she said, what was the magnitude? And I told her, 2.6. She goes, well, that's not much. And not only do they tell you the magnitude, they tell you how far down, how many kilometers down in the earth that it was. 18 kilometers, and I'm not real sure how many miles, but apparently we live near a fault line, and that where it was last night was real close to a fault line. So it's 2 plates probably moving slightly, even a millimeter, a half a millimeter or something. It can still cause a rumble and disturb things. Not much, but just a little. But most people are in bed. If you're not in bed, you wouldn't be hanging outside. You'd probably be driving somewhere, coming home, and you'd be in the car and you wouldn't feel it. In bed, you probably wouldn't feel something that minor, but apparently the alarms on our vehicles did. So I'm going to ask that guy later if he thinks that might be it. So I was like, my brain just not wanting to function at all. I have a lot of things to do, a lot of straightening up to do, paperwork to put away. I have it all sorted out like I did the other day, but have I put it away? No, I have not. It's in a basket, all sorted out. And best do it before baby gets curious, wanders in there and starts pulling papers out. You know, that happened before, and that's why I had to do it again. So I need to finish that task. And I probably will. Yesterday I also made a lot of beef vegetable soup. 3 or 4 meals worth. I made some chicken soup. I made some fried chicken. I fried it up, cooked it up nice, and it's in the freezer, so all I have to do is pull it out and heat it up. Also made, what else did I make? Fajita, chicken fajita. And all I do is open up the pita bread and put the fajita in there and heat it up and eat it. It's real easy to make. Real easy to make chicken fajita mix. A little bit of onions sliced thinly, bell pepper sliced thinly, chicken, and you can saute the stuff in a little tiny bit of olive oil, and then you put a little water in there and get the chicken pieces all cooked up. Slice the chicken thinly into strips and then when it starts cooking up, you add a little bit of chicken bouillon with cornstarch in it to thicken it a little bit. And you've got your chicken slop to put in your pita bread. And as it cools, it thickens a little bit. It's a good snack. It's a good, easy go-to. Grab it out of the freezer, out of the bag I have it in, and heat it up and eat it up. I learned about chicken fajita. Oh, it's got cumin powder in it. And I learned about that when I worked at McDonald's many years ago. Back when the chicken fajitas were popular, they'd get it in a big plastic bag frozen and you just heat it up. That was good. That was tasty. I don't like McDonald's. Their French fries are okay, but I don't like McDonald's, even though I work there. But the fajitas were not too bad. That's when the movie Dick Tracy came out, whatever year that was. We all had to wear these plastic Dick Tracy hats when we worked. That was a bad year as well. I had to work there because I was going to school, minding the children and everything else. Everything. The husband did nothing except take it out on me. So I have really bad PTSD. Real bad. That and the shit my mother used to put me through. And it's all been coming to me when I'm sleeping lately. Every night. It's like I dread falling asleep, but I know I need to sleep. It's awful. I don't know if there's a way to do therapy or have counseling or what. I don't know. But I need to deal with that. I need to get rid of it. Can you get rid of it? I don't know. I need to control it, get rid of it, put it somewhere. It's like the story of the old man that had a really crappy job. When he would return home, he'd touch the leaves of a tree, go inside, and have a wonderful night. And then in the morning, he'd touch the leaves of that tree and go to work again. And someone asked him why. Why do you do that? And he said, well, it's all my troubles of the world. When I go in the house, I leave them on the tree branch. And when I go out in the morning, I pick them back up. If there's some way I can do that, if that's some kind of placebo, some learned behavior that I can do that, to leave all that shit somewhere. If I have to maintain it, at least I can leave it before I go to sleep. I need to know how to do that. Or something. I put on 10 hours of cat purring to go to sleep. I like that. The cat likes it too. Like he'll sleep right next to me. But the last couple nights, well, especially last night, he didn't. Because I just must be flailing around. It's awful. Anybody have any suggestions? Is there a therapy for that? I mean, the Army must have that kind of therapy for the men that come back from war. There's got to be something a person can do. Maybe I'll have to check into that, go that route. I thought I had an expired passport, and I was worried about getting my picture taken and getting one before the end of the summer so I could visit Scott and family up in Canada. And I looked at it further when I was filling out the renewal form, and it said expiration date, and I looked and it said 10 years from now. The date that I just got that was just last year. And I thought, oh God, what an idiot. What a nincompoop. Oh Lord, well, something I don't have to worry about. So I've got all my major stuff in the pantry. I'll need beef bouillon the next store trip. And what else? There was one more thing. Everything else I have. I don't need it, but it's really low. So I made homemade sauce the other day, and sorrel soup I ate up. Tuna burger, I ate the last one last night. I think it was a little overdue. It was about a week old. Maybe, almost a week. And it just didn't taste right. No, I don't think that caused the bad dreams. These dreams are just, they haunt me. My mother did say she was going to haunt me. She was a narcissist, a pretty much classic narcissist. She'd lie to get people's confidence. People thought she was great. People thought she had lots of money. And she carried on. So, but behind closed doors, it was totally different. I just watched a thing about the Duggar family. It said religious family in Arkansas. I guess they were in Arkansas. 19 children or 20 children or whatever. Horrible. Horrible. And they belong to some specific religious order or church or something. What cult? And there's no way in hell I would belong to it. The women had no say. They had to do everything the men said. The children could be beaten all day if the man wanted to. The children were often taken and had things done, and they were never allowed to tell anybody. And I know that feeling. If whatever goes on, you cannot tell anybody. And people say, well, why didn't they leave? Just like me, when I was being abused. Why didn't you leave? Because you're afraid to. You know, everyone around you, you'd have to go far, far away. Everyone around you will be your think. They'll think on you. They'll turn you right back to the father, the husband, or whatever, you know. That's not cool. And these guys had strong Republican ties too, which bothers me. I don't care what party anyone is. Be a decent human being, for God's sakes. For your sake, for our sake. I know I've probably blithered on a whole lot. It's really interesting and cool. I thought I heard my car alarm go off because the trash truck's on the street. But it's in the garage and it shouldn't. Also, it'll keep it cleaner. It's very dusty around here. I'm thinking getting one of those little rubber, like a little rubber curb thing that you can put right behind your tire. So I find out exactly how far back in the garage I can go and be just within the closing of the garage door. That'll give me plenty of room in the back to move around, to take groceries out or whatever. And it will, I measured the tire to the bumper, both front and back, about 18 inches. So it doesn't matter what way I pull in or out of the garage, it should work. I just have to find one, see how much they are, get one, put it in there. As for anything else, I don't really need anything else except to get organized and keep things clean and neat. I watched some tiny house thing, and the guy was chuckling. He goes, well, one thing I've learned living tiny is if you use it, when you're done using it, put it back. Because if you don't, it'll sit out and it looks untidy. And if you do that to more than one thing, pretty soon your place is a god-awful mess, no matter how big or small the place is. So I gotta do that. Become more organized, be more efficient. The things in the garage, I want to help them build a better shed. And this is the shed they have now. This is the shed they have now. It's probably about 7 foot by 7 foot. My idea is, see these two pads of concrete with the line, having it so it's behind the drain this way. It'd be that narrow, probably about 5 feet, 4 feet, and take up from where that is to about here. And it would only be shelves that face out. My plans. This is the shed now that's falling apart. I want to make kind of like a half building, sort of. That's longer. It holds about the same amount, but it's going to be more organized. There'll be shelves running across here, and then things like the lawnmower and the other instruments, shovel and rakes, can be hanging from the wall. And these areas in the front can be things that sit on the ground and are movable, but everything else will be on a shelf. Decorations for holidays and things like that. That's about all they have. I mean, they don't have a whole lot of extraneous crap. It came with the house and it's fallen apart. A lot of these type of sheds do fall apart after years. I want to make one where it has like I can draw up a plan. Sometime I'll show you. Presently what I'm doing is copying down the children's books that I made. I'm going to photocopy them, put them in a file, and see what it will take to self-publish. If my grandson likes them a whole lot, other kids might like them. And a lot of people have kids' books out there. You never know. You know, maybe that will be the money that I can save up for my grandson and daughter's future. Who knows? I'll pay back my son. I'm very thankful, very grateful that I have stuff to do. So I'll get to it. Upward and onward.